So you started your care business, and now what? What do you do? 2025 is here, it's upon us, and look, where do you go from here? Are you struggling with sleeping at night because you don't know where to go with your healthcare business? You're worried about all of the things that have happened in 2024, especially if you're in the UK, the inflation, the October budget of 2024 has left you feeling deflated because you know that there's an inflation that is coming. So how do you overcome this so that you're able to sleep at night? Let me go through this in the video with you today about how to overcome these challenges, because this is the perfect time to start your healthcare business. You may think so, that possibly no, it's not a good time, but actually it is. And I'm going to go through some simple steps with you about how you can make 2025 a good year for you being in business. Look, I'm Christine Crowell here. I've been in business for 40 years now. I've made some mistakes. I'm not perfect. And let me tell you, I've been through the recession and I've come out from the other side of that recession in 2008. Even though we're possibly going into a recession in 2025, don't let that stop you. It stopped me, it paralyzed me, and it's kept me from sleeping at night because I was worried. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm going to go through some of the things, strategies in this video that you can use and take your business forward in 2025. Look, Warren Buffett, you know, the big guys, they're all waiting on 2025. Calamera, they're all waiting on 2025. They're looking at this as an opportunity. And you should look at this as your opportunity in business. You may have just started out and you're thinking, I'm a small guy, I'm a small fish in a pond. But you can still do well. You know, like finding Nemo, the fish, for example. Look, he was in a big ocean, wasn't he? But look what he achieved. Look what he achieved. He swam through all the different shores, dealt with all different fish types. And he was under threat on many occasions, but he swam and he found courage. His parents didn't want him to go out into the big wide world because they were worried and they were frightened, which is understandable. But Nemo knew that he had to do this for himself in order to get courage and strength to take him to where he is, to where he wanted to be in the future. And you're in the same boat as well, because Warren Buffett and all the big guys, they're waiting for this recession to hit. And because they're going to they already know what the opportunities are, for example, in the business. They know that they're looking for organizations that they can actually I won't say take advantage of, because, you know, they're not really seeing it in that way, but they are in a way. But they're looking for companies that are going to be giving up because they've had enough. You're seeing it in the news and you're probably frightened because you're thinking, well, if these big guys are giving up, then what chance do I have? Yeah, but this is a beautiful opportunity for you to be like Nemo, for you to have that courage, for you to learn to swim in the big ocean. And in my video today, I'm going to talk to you about some strategies that you can use to grow your business and become the leader that you want to be in your business. And whilst I'm out walking here, doing my fitness walking, I'm going to share this with you right now. So some of the things that you can look at is building your brand. What do I mean by that? Building your personal brand. Well, at the end of the day, 2025, people want to know people. They don't really want to know people that are shallow. They want to know people by their personality. They want to know people by who they are, coming from the heart and delivering from the heart, building relationships. They don't want these short-term relationships. And you will see that, you have to excuse me because when I'm walking a lot, I get, it's a bit difficult sometimes. So I'm kind of like walking and talking. You may hear some sounds as well. But what I want to say to you is that you've got to look at your personal brand. You're different from everyone else. And this is what people don't realize. They think, oh, I want to be like everyone else. I want to be like the big guys that I see that have got these big organizations. You don't want to be like them, because then you're going to be average like them. You want to be your own. You want to be flexible. You want to look at speaking with organizations like them to work with, but in the way that you're able to get started in your business, for example, in your healthcare business. So think about what it is that what you can offer. What's so special about you? You've got your brand. You got your personal brand, right? And you are unique. You are strong. And like I said, the Warren Buffetts of today, they're ready. They're waiting for 2025 to come, because they're going to be really, to them, they're going to be swooping up all of those big businesses that are saying, that's it, I've thrown in the towel, I'm giving up. So they're going to just take charge. They're going to go in there, take charge of those businesses. And what you've got to look at as your personal brand is, who are you? Who are you? You're specializing in a particular field that the need is so strong in your community, that you're so aware of it, and that you also are helping your community to get strong. Like I mentioned in a previous video yesterday, which I'll put here, for example, or here on this side, about social value. What value are you giving to your community? i.e., even if you haven't started making money, start writing your social value, that you're going to look at recruiting young people, for example, young adults. And I'm talking about, like 16 to 18 year olds, or 16 to 25 year olds, for example, but also people from underprivileged backgrounds. You're going to look at recruiting, say, one person, because at the end of the day, they're just as good as anybody else. Just because they come from an unprivileged background doesn't mean to say that they're going to be a bad employee, because that is incorrect to think that way. We all start from somewhere. Look, if I was to go back to when I had my firstborn, I was homeless with a 6-week-old baby. So, but I grew and I got stronger. And building your brand is key to 2025, because that's where your foundation is going to be. So what is your personal brand? What will you specialize in? Will you specialize in community, collaboration? Is that going to be your strength? Is that going to be your strength in your organization for building your personal brand? For example, think about how you're going to collaborate with other organizations, for example. Look at these large guys, look at these big guys, and look at collaborating with them, with your personal brand, with your personality, so they can see your value that you can give. Get to know your community and what they need, because if you don't know what your community needs, then how can you serve them? Don't just go from what you want, look at what they want and then meet that need. Because the big guys, they haven't got time to look at these things. When I first started, I started looking at what my community needed. And for me, when I first started my agency years ago, it was around this time, and Christmas was here, and I could see that there was a lot of elderly people or vulnerable people that didn't have, wasn't going to their loved ones for Christmas, for example. And I said to my staff, I only had one staff at the time. I said to them, right, let's have a look, see who's going to have a Christmas dinner, who's visiting them, or who are they going to see, who do we need to get ready to make sure they're dressed ready for their relatives, for example, who's having lunch, for example. So like really 90% of my clients, when I just started, they were having a frozen Christmas dinner. And I was like, oh my goodness, right, okay. So you know what I did? I brought some extra turkeys, for example, and I cooked extra food and I delivered to all of those clients that didn't have a cooked Christmas dinner. Because how could I sit and enjoy my meal? Well, that's how I felt. How could I sit and enjoy my meal when there were people not having a Christmas dinner? Look, I come from a charity family. My father started the food bank many years ago in New York, in Bronx, New York. So for me, you can understand why I felt that way. So I went out and I delivered all of the Christmas dinners to my clients on Christmas morning. And guess what? I got a phone call, lots of phone calls on Monday, for example. Tuesday it might have been, because I can't remember whether it was a weekend. And I got all these calls from the councils thanking me, and the relatives thanking me for taking Christmas dinner around to their mum or their dad, for example, or their friend, because some of them felt guilty because they were far away, like in America, for example, or abroad, and they couldn't be there at that time with their mum or their dad, for example, and their mum and dad was too old to travel. So I took time out to go and do that. So my brand was community. I was focused on community, building community. And that's why I always say to my clients, go out and visit your community, see what it is that they need. What can you provide them with? What are they lacking? What is missing from all of the other agencies out there in your area? And then you swoop in and you become your brand of collaboration, your brand of community. That's what your 2025 branding should be: community and collaboration, for example. Then you look at approaching business owners that have got contracts. There's a whole big list on the government website of who's been awarded contracts. Go out there and visit them and see how you can work with them, how you can support them.